All right, guys, I'm sorry I'm running late today. Got a little busy with work. Excuse me as I set this up a little more here. And then there's going to be some background noise. Where I work, Chemical Warehouse, we have a shredder that comes by to shred up some plastics for us. And they happen to be here today, which is outside this door. I'm not sure if you can hear that. If you do, I do apologize in advance. And again, excuse me as I am sending the link over to everyone that needs to be here. Bella, I'm going to be sending a link to your IG. And if you can do me a huge favor before you jump on, can you send that to the backroom chat, the one I just created this morning? This way, if Julian is available, he can jump on in a little bit. If not, I got my buddy Mike as well. He's going to possibly be joining us in a minute. But again, I apologize, everybody, anyone who's here. Good afternoon, Creative Soul. Hope you're having an amazing day. Apologize to everybody. I am running late today. I was pretty busy at work, writing up some tags and stuff, and I got caught up doing that. Rushed back here as soon as I could. Had to grab some water, wet my face a little bit because I was sitting in a hot room. Didn't want to get on camera with a bunch of sweat and stuff. But this is the third day of making a connection. We're going to be reconnecting with Bella. She had a great story to tell. She has a lot of good information, and I was unable to complete the, I don't want to call it an interview, just more the chat with her in the beginning, because I am trying to do this in a 30-minute time frame, which is my lunch period. And that's more just to show you guys that you can create something in the limited amount of time you have. If you have a full-time job or if you're just sitting at home, you'll have the ability to do so. There's no excuses for you not to take your phone, open up StreamYard, and set up your own little platform, and then start inviting people to talk about whatever interests you have. Connect with your friends on Instagram, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, on Facebook, wherever it may be. You connect and you can talk about whatever it is that interests you. And so there's no reason for you not to start a podcast, not to start a YouTube channel. And yeah, that's what this is about. I work a full-time job. I'm in at 7 o'clock. I'm out, if I'm lucky, at about 5:30 or 6. If I'm not lucky, we're talking about 7:30, almost 8 o'clock. And I rush home afterwards and I do whatever I got to do with home, which is eat, shower, spend a little bit of time with my kids, a little time with my wife, and then get about the rest of my day. If I have stuff to do on the computer, I'll do that. If I'm on Illustrator, I'm doing that. If I need to wash, do dishes, whatever it may be, I got to use that time to do that. So there's not a lot of time in my day, which is why I'm using my lunchtime to be able to run this little series that I started of making the connection. Now, the idea behind this series is to make brand new connections with everybody on a daily basis. And I mean everybody as in anybody that is willing to sit down and talk with me. I'm genuinely interested in meeting new people. I would love to be able to meet one new person every single day, regardless of what business you are in, what interests you have. I just try to make one genuine connection with a new person every single day. So that's the idea behind this series here. Again, I sat down with Bella on the first day. She was my first guest. Really, really, really awesome individual. She's been we've been talking on a daily basis, and she's been motivating me and encouraging me to keep going. As well as I sat down with Julian yesterday, and we had good conversation as well. I've known for a while, and it looks like Bella is in. Sat down with Julian yesterday, and today we're sitting down with part 3 to talk to Bella and see how she's doing. Let's get her in here. Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. Can you see me?
Yes, I can.
Okay. Hi.
Hello.
I got my video to work.
Nice.
And I'm on time. Well, I'm like 9 minutes late, but.
Well, no, that was my fault because I didn't send the link over. I didn't have it situated completely. I was rushing to get out of the office and run to lunch so that I can come and start this up. But I am doing this solo, so I got a little got a little busy, and then I had to
Got it.
run. I had to run to the restroom, grab some water, wet my face, kind of wet my hair a little, and then rush to set this up, which is not fun. Can you hear the noise outside?
No, you might hear a noise outside my window, because I live in the city, so.
No, that's no worries. I was more worried about this shredder that we have outside.
No, I
Again,
don't
I
hear
work in a
anything.
chemical warehouse. Oh, that's amazing. I'm glad because I work in a chemical warehouse. We have a bunch of empty bottles on a daily basis, and they have to
Um,
get shredded and shipped off to certain locations. So we can't just dump it in the trash. And they come every couple months and shred it, and it takes
um,
hours, but it's
right.
loud.
Yeah, no,
So,
you'll hear a multitude of sirens and, you know,
oh, that's okay.
people
That's okay.
screaming outside, walking up with a fist, yelling at each other, even though COVID's going on, they don't give a fuck. But I mean, yeah.
Well, this wouldn't be a raw sit down and making connections if we didn't have a little bit of background noise, right? It sounds studio operated. It sounds a little more production
Exactly.
heavy, and it's not. This is just me using my phone, you using yours, and we're making that connection through this.
Exactly.
So, how's your day going? How's everything going today?
It's going okay. My day's going okay.
Going okay? Do you
Um,
like today's episode of Tea with Gary?
um, to be honest, I wasn't really into it today. I,
Really?
I, I was into it a little bit, but then it was like, I don't know. I don't know. Like yesterday, like certain guests you get on there, um, like Jewel was on there, right?
Yeah.
That's nice. But there are normal people like you and I who did not win Grammys and all sorts of shit. There's people that really like she's already she got her shit. You know what I mean? She's doing her
Yeah.
thing. But it's like there's average people that really need that help that don't have managers and coaches and all that stuff. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like that kind of like I love Jewel, don't get me wrong, but just like certain sometimes it's like, okay, do they really need to be on there? They could probably just pick up the phone and call you.
True.
But
But it's a platform for everybody, regardless of status, regardless of level of exposure, regardless of who you are, what you do. He talks with a kid who's still in school, in middle school, to
no, you're
senior
right.
celebrities.
You're right. I just wasn't. Maybe it was just I had a bad day yesterday too, so maybe I just wasn't there altogether. But I just feel like I don't know. I don't. It was nice to see her and all that, but I could tell that the chat was getting a little. The numbers started falling. It was getting a little. You know what I mean? But other than that, I watch it usually every morning. So
That's a good thing. At least it keeps your interest a little enough to come back on a daily basis. That's the point.
yeah, definitely. There's a lot of good. For the most part, I love the show. It'd be
It's a
nice
great
if
show.
he would take I know there's so many people in the chat and there's so many questions and but it would be nice if he did like a kind of like a Q&A 10 minutes before and 10 minutes after the show, like, hey, what did you guys learn from the show, or do you have any questions, or you know what I mean,
Yeah.
stuff like that. I mean, but everybody does things their way. I'm just saying it would be cool because you see the chat asking him and maybe somebody could sneak in a question and that answer, boom, change their whole shit.
True that.
You
You got a
know?
point.
So
Um, yeah, I mean, there's
and that
it's a
chat be
tough
on
thing.
fire. I'm
Yeah,
sorry, I
oh
didn't mean
yeah,
to cut you
definitely.
off.
It is nonstop.
They
I
be on
try to
fire. And one
sneak
thing
in
about
like
that,
comments and stuff.
I'm telling you, you get a couple trolls, that's it. Just stupid shit, like stupid shit. You know, but for the most part, I've never been in a live or a chat where everybody's so fucking positive. That's what I like. You know what I mean? Because everybody's like recognizes each other's names and stuff like that. Hey, good morning, good morning. Some people aren't as, interactive as you and I or other people in the chat, but that chat is fire. I mean, what they do when people go on that need a following on Instagram and stuff like that, to do that for them people, can you imagine how it makes them feel? That's got to be a good fucking feeling. You know what I mean? You got all these
Oh,
beautiful
definitely.
strangers just like, hey, you know, I'm following you on IG, or I sub to you on whatever. You know, it's nice because, like, that right there, how long did that take? Let's think about it. How long did it take to change that woman's life? Boom. It was crazy. So, like, if he could sneak in a few from the chat, like, okay, he has Dustin, you have people, you know, that are seeing who's there a lot and who might not be there, or who might be there just to be bullshitting or whatever. And when I say bullshit, I'm talking about the trolls that come through to say some political shit or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like, and then take and pick like 10 people, you know, from that chat and say, okay, you know what? Here. This, you know, what's your question? This is, you know what I mean? But I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah,
I
yeah.
know he's trying to do it with Twitter and all that, but he has a large following from across seas too. And you know, so, but I do like the show. I like the concept of it. I do. I like it, and I like the chat. But yeah, so I don't even know what I look like on this damn thing. I probably look crazy because my square is so little I can't even see.
Do you have your phone sideways?
No.
I don't know if you want to try it, but you can turn it sideways, and it gives you that widescreen look.
Okay.
But so what's going on with you? What are you going to do? We talked last time, and I was suggesting that you get some stuff started for yourself, get a book written, get your YouTube channel going. What have you done so far? What are you going to do?
So I'm trying to fix this. Excuse me.
No worries.
Is it too bright? Like,
No,
I'm sitting all crooked and shit. Where am I
it's
even supposed
fine.
to be looking? Where am I supposed to look?
You just look directly at your screen, and that's it.
Okay. So, I have tons. I'm actually looking over to my left because all my journals are there. So I'll have like things about, you know, I have like my negative journal, like when I'm having hard days, and then I have this positive journal that's like my go-to for everything. So if I get ideas and stuff like that, like even about you know, I want to start a nonprofit organization to like help build more shelters. So you know, those ideas, stuff like that, and stuff I want to speak on. So yeah, I
like
just write
that.
it down and I have like a little like I have notebooks everywhere. You could ask my kids, they'll be like, yeah, she has like, I have like 3 planners, which I don't even write in the shit. I have this thing every year. This is terrible too, but I stopped like making myself, because what I would do is I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna fill in my planner every single day, every single week. I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna do this. I'll buy the prettiest little fucking planner and shit, little stickers. I'll use it the first month, and I could even show you one day. You'll see January is like, oh yeah, productive, and then February is like there's like 3 dates, 1 sticker, and then like March is like, and it's like I fall off, right? So I get so pissed at myself because I'm like, it's a new decade, it's a new year, I'm gonna do this. So when I miss February and March, I started beating myself up about it. I'm good for that. So what I decided was forget the planner. I usually put everything in my phone. Let me have a negative journal, not excuse me, not negative per se, but like for my bad days, to separate that from the good one. and the ideas and the affirmations and the you know, and then I have an idea book that's a little bit more, um it's for domestic violence. So I don't like to mix that in with my ideas, if I'm making any sense at all, that are in my
Sure.
positive journal. So it's like a positive journal with like ideas.
I like that because you can always go back to a negative experience or a positive experience when you're trying to express yourself in a video or a talk or whatever it may be. You can go back to that idea that you had or what you've written in your journal and kind of flow off of that. When we first talked too, this is why I told you, like, I really think you should consider starting a book. Like I told you this morning, what's to stop your book from becoming, the next Child Called It, but for young female adults, or young adults, young females who are having, children or going through these situations where they're in a bad
Right.
relationship. Like you
Yeah.
could potentially save some girl's life with a book.
Oh God. If let me tell you something. If it wasn't so bad, like they don't even really do it out here, but they don't do it in a lot of places, but I would love to go, um with the police on domestic violence calls. But that's touchy too, you know what I mean, because I've been in that situation. um Working EMS, I went on domestic violence calls. So I mean, I was going through it at the same time. So I'm looking at another female or male, whoever, but most of the time it was females. I'm not gonna lie. But like we said yesterday, it goes both ways. Um, and knowing that I'm not alone just by looking at her, but I'm still caring for her as my job with EMS. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And able to kind of, because I know about it, able to not say certain things that somebody might say if they didn't know she's in it. You know what I mean? Like I could see that shit. Somebody else might not be able to see it, just like certain people didn't see it with me. Most people saw it with me, but it it depends. A lot of times you try to hide it. I hid it. I had to hide it, but people knew. You know. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You got a lot to tell. You have an amazing story, and you need
Thank
to
you.
act on it. You need to act on it. Um, and you're an amazing individual. You've been through some shit, and you have a story to tell. And I think you really can change someone's life.
Thank you. Thank you. I do. I mean, and like I said, I thought about like on YouTube doing like a series. You know what I mean? Because there's so much to it. I was involved with this person, um, 12 almost 12 years. You know, and I didn't have, really like a normal. I don't even know what's normal teenage whatever, because I was a mother at 16, and I didn't drop my responsibility. I picked up my shit and did what I had to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then came the violence. So it was kind of like, damn, here I am. I'm a young mother trying to figure this out. My child was probably the first diaper I ever changed. Um, so I was still young trying to figure things out. So by the time I was 17, no, actually I was still 16, is the first time he put his hands on me. So it's like, things like that. Now I see why there's just so much to it. There's so much to everybody's story, and there's so many different situations. Like domestic violence could be men, like we said yesterday. It could be financial. The man could be the breadwinner, and in my case, that was not the case. But and there's financial abuse to where you're cutting them off from their livelihood. You know, you don't want them to go to work, you want them to stay home and not work. And you know, that's what most abusers do. They don't want their spouse around other people, you know, so they trap them financially. I'm fortunate that, you know what I mean, I was working and had a career. As it got worse, you know what I mean, because like I said, I started from the bottom. I
Yeah.
started from the bottom, working in fast food, you know, 2 jobs and going to school. So, you know, but I do want to help other women, and you know, I could talk about that. I'm talking about it now, and I'm okay with it. And I'm okay with it.
But see, what if you started something like this, where you jumped on StreamYard, you opened up your own chats, and you started, let's say, a channel on women who have been through it or have a story to tell, and you just sit down and talk about your stories. You guys can relate, and you guys can push this information out there for anybody watching YouTube to be able to see what's going on and see that you're not the only one going through this, and there's others that are out there, and there's always someone to talk to about it.
That's dope. That's dope, because that's dope. I don't mean to cut you off. You know what it is that my phone is on speaker, and you know how the speaker over speaker, whatever the fuck, you know what I'm saying. So, yeah, that you just gave me like the illest idea. And like, what if I had 2 YouTube channels, and what if the other channel was solely for people who are going through it, or know somebody's going through it, or whatever, where it's almost like not a hotline, but like a come and talk, and there's people there all the time, you know, talking to them. Like, people are gonna hop in or say, oh well, let me see if I could go to such and such page. If I created a community like that, to where they don't have to use their names, you know what I mean, they don't have to, but they're asking questions, or they're, you know, I'm a life coach, I'm not a counselor, but I feel the best counselors are the people that have been through it, you know, NA, AA, domestic violence, what have you. But yeah, that doesn't that sound kind of cool?
I think you need to do it on your page now. You don't need 2 pages. You don't need to make it separate. You make it so that they're connecting to you directly. Don't.
No, I know what you're saying. The only thing with my channel that I have now is I do need to upload more content. I really do. I was falling off and I was procrastinating, like I said, but no, I would still be me. It'd still be Bella, but like my channel that I have right now, it's you know what? Actually, it is open for that. You know what I mean? Because I would stay up all night talking to somebody that is going through it. I would. I mean, I wish I had that.
So I got a question for you. What's stopping you?
Nothing's stopping me.
There you go. You have the idea. You got to jump on it.
I know.
You're using your cell phone right now, right, or a tablet?
I'm on my cell phone.
Okay, you're using your cell phone, and you're on a video. You're on a live stream with me. So all you need to do is be the one that's hosting the show. It's going to post directly to your YouTube channel. You set up all the information before you start the live stream, and you just go live and start talking. You can be on IG during the day, and you can look up different things that relate to the subject that you want to talk about, which in your case is going to be domestic violence. Obviously, you're not going to find a page specified for domestic violence, but you'll be able to look for like help groups that are actually out there. There are some groups that are going to be situated to try to do the same thing you're trying to do, with the exception of they don't have anybody putting out video content. This is where you can come in and provide that for these groups.
Right.
and you guys can sit down and have a chat. This platform will give you up to 6 people. So imagine having a host with you, or a co-host with you, or two co-hosts, and you guys interview one person at a time. You could have 5 co-hosts and interview one at a time, or talk with one at a time, so that they're getting 5 different opinions, or 5 different sets of ears to listen to their story, and let them know that they are being heard and they're not alone.
Right. Right. No, it's true. It's true. Like I said, it really, like, it all kind of bundles into everything that I experienced. And like I said, I didn't understand it for so long, but now I get it, because it's like, it just, like, it went from being a young mother to now I'm in a fucked up, controlling, crazy relationship. Half of my family disowned me for being pregnant so young. And here I was trying to prove them wrong, like, oh, you guys don't think we could do, like, I didn't want them to be right. I didn't want them to have a reason to be like, oh yeah, he was beating her ass, or, you know what I mean? Something like that.
Hmm.
And, I was, just my father alone, there's 11 of us. Okay. I didn't want, my son to not have his father around, but at the same time, it was detrimental to my son. And so I was a young mother. Then I ended up in that cycle. Um, After I left him, and when I left him, if I come back on, I will talk about that day. It um when I left him, I was I was I was done. I was like, this. It's done. It's like fucking over, done. And it's crazy because I ended up getting, like, I was having all these. I became diagnosed with PTSD. I didn't believe I had it. 5 doctors diagnosed me with it. I didn't want to admit it. I didn't, and they're like, you have, severe depression. Like, you're clinically depressed. Like, so now I'm like, I'm not taking antidepressants. I'm not taking this. I'm not doing that. So I was suffering and suffering, and the anxiety, to where the anxiety was controlling my body, to where I ended up with, like, acute, like, maybe irritable bowel syndrome or something. Like, I would get nervous and my stomach would get really sick. So it was crazy because I ended up with depression afterwards, PTSD, anxiety. So it was like boom, 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 boom. And this is after I left them. I lost my job. Like I had said, I worked on EMS. They couldn't get the seizures under control. As a medic, you are responsible. You are responsible for that rig. And I could not be responsible for other patients if I'm having a seizure on my own shift. So that was taken away. Everything I worked for, went to school for, had outstanding service awards, you know what I mean, in-house, when I worked in-house in the hospital. And it all just, like, crept up with me. So it's like, I can relate to a lot of different things, you could always learn, always still learn. But, like, I could relate to a lot of different things, from sexual assault to being with a sociopath, narcissist, I mean, that's what it starts with: manipulation, gaslighting, stuff like that. So, I mean, these are things that you could see before you go too deep into that relationship. But I couldn't see it. If I knew better, I would have done better.
Yeah.
I didn't
See,
have that support.
this is what I mean. Your channel can just, that it can be that support for many people. I think this is what you need to get. You need to get rolling on this today. After we end this in about a minute here, I'm gonna message you and we're gonna get you started. I'm gonna send you all the videos you need to be able to figure out how to work StreamYard. Very simple. You don't need anything flashy. You don't need anything crazy. Just get started. And to begin with, you're gonna need to find people to talk, obviously. But you can jump on and stream yourself just talking about your story, just putting it out there on a live, and make it in episodes. Don't tell the whole story in a whole hour session. Do 15 minutes here, maybe 20 minutes there, 30 minutes there. Just give parts of your story in a consistent order so that you have your content to be putting out for the next couple weeks.
Right.
You make it episodes, you make them not too long so that someone can sit down. Imagine a lunch break. This is why I do the channel for 30 minutes, is because that's someone's lunch, minimum 30 minutes. So if you're sitting down, you're having a bite, you have a chance to slap on a YouTube video. Maybe this might interest someone. They'll sit down and watch it for the next 30 minutes. And then when their lunch is up, we're finishing the stream either way. So if you make it short, you're more likely to be watched, because people don't always have too much time to sit there and watch the full story in one sitting. But if you keep it in an episode type of deal, it'll bring them back. It'll make them want to see the rest or hear the rest. And I'm serious about, you need to consider a book as well, because there's so many platforms to be able to just put any type of book out there, and your story needs to get out there. We're going to talk about that in a minute, though. As soon as we get off this call, I am not going to let up on that. I will be messaging you and letting you know that we are going to help you get started on your channel and your book.
I'm ready.
You have plenty of ideas. You have books and books and books ready.
Okay, I'm down. I'm down. I think I just needed with the brick from Aunt again. Jesus Christ.
But we're not hesitating. I'm not letting you hesitate. I'm not letting you stop. I'm not letting you second think it. You're gonna get started without thinking about it, and you're gonna let the pieces fall into place. Do they have what?
StreamYard for iPhone?
It's all web browser. So as long as you have a web browser on your device, you can use it.
Oh,
you're on it right now.
Yeah, so I didn't know.
It's a very simple platform.
I meant like I thought it was like something you had to download.
No, there's no download required. It's all online.
Okay, perfect. Nice.
So we are going to get you started. We're going to get you rolling today. You're going to start something, whether it be at least the account creation for StreamYard, or figuring out where we're going to get you started to write a book. But we're going to get you rolling started today, and you're going to keep that momentum going.
Damn, look at me. My bangs are like, I was like, wow, I just got the close up, like, oh shit, Gina.
All right. So for today, thank you again for being on.
Thank you.
This is your second time on the show already.
Oh, come on,
and
anytime.
I can get a little more situated here. As time goes on, you'll start to see there's a little more organization. So, I mean, it's all part of the process, and that's what I mean by just get started and let the pieces fall into place where they can.
Let's do this. I'm ready.
All right. Okay. Well, thank you for sitting down with me.
You're welcome.
And
thank you for having me.
To talk. Anytime. Anytime.
I appreciate you, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'll see you later, or I'll talk to you later.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, guys, that's it for today. Another 30-minute episode, a lunchtime, a sit down, making the connection. Bella, again, with another great episode. She's got a lot to say. She's got a lot to share, and she's going to save or help so many people. She doesn't know it yet, but it's there. As long as she gets rolling, as long as she starts doing without thinking, starts acting on impulse, it'll be there. Things fall into place. And I speak from experience, because when I started this little journey a while back, I don't even know how to explain it. I had no idea what I was doing. And here I am trying to start my own show again, a new series. So thank you guys for watching. Creative Soul, thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you. Anybody interested in joining up, look for me on Instagram. I'd love to have you on the show. I'd love to meet new people. And I will see you guys with the next one. I hope you guys have an amazing day today. Stay humble, everybody. Keep grinding. I love all of you guys. And I will catch you tomorrow. Bye.